Hello, my name is Becky. As you can see, bit of a mess, but I thought we might as well start these vlogs as we mean to go on. It is almost 10 AM, I think, on the 1st of November, and that means I have to actually write today and every day for the next 30 days. Yeah, I'm gonna start by just going over a few things that will probably be a theme throughout. For a start, that I just subconsciously did to my eye. You can't tell. Yeah, I had surgery on my eyeball and now it looks like that, and apparently that will be like that for probably the rest of the month, which isn't great because it does mean that my vision's quite blurry and I have to write. But it's fine, we're just gonna work with it. It's nowhere near as bad as it was when I first had it done. Like, I can see singular now, so it's just yeah, if my eye looks that level of dodgy for the rest of the month, please just ignore it. Secondly, I do have like lessons to go to this month, but I don't go to school like 9 till 3 anymore. I'm just in like most mornings, other than one day I do 9 till 5. So it shouldn't be too much of a bother, but obviously I probably won't be vlogging anything at college, so you probably won't even notice that time's passed. But you know, I'm not in the position where I can just write all day. I do have to attend lessons and things, unfortunately. Other than that, I don't think I have anything to start this with. I will in a bit. I'll talk more about what I'm writing, my like plans for this. I did do a video on it as well, so I probably won't go over it in too much detail. I'll like link the video below or something, but I'll go over that vaguely. And yeah, I feel this is a really rough way to start the video, but I think I look like this in most of my vlogs. This isn't, it's not new, it's fine. I was out last night, it was Halloween obviously yesterday, and I was at a Halloween party and I didn't get back and go to bed. Like, it was about 1 o'clock I think when I managed to get into bed. That being said, I am sober, so before anybody thinks I'm not, so I'm just very tired. That doesn't matter because it's Nano, so I guess I'm just gonna be tired. I've got stuff to get on with. I don't know when I'm gonna start writing today, I'll say that. I don't know. I've been so excited to start writing for the last like a month when I've been planning my book. It's been 2 months since I last wrote anything, by the way. Don't kill me. So I don't know how I'm expecting to go from 2 months of no writing to 50,000 words in 30 days, but you know. But I've been really excited to get on with this like project. It's like a completely new thing, and I've been so excited. I've been like, no, you gotta wait till the first day of Nano, don't do anything now. I've been like so ready, and now it's the first day of Nano and I can do it. My brain's like, nah, you don't want to do that, you just want to sleep. And I'm like, oh, but I don't have time to sleep. So I think the plan is going to be to watch some writing vlogs from like last year's Nano to kind of like hype myself up a bit, get myself in the mood to actually take part, because this is my first time, so I guess I need all help I can get. So yeah, well, I'll talk more about it in a bit, but for you it's probably going to be about like 3 seconds or something, depending on what happens in between me leaving my bedroom and returning. So I'm on a computer, I have my laptop, I have my fruit chew, I even have a candle, everything's ready to go. I think I only watched the one vlog and then decided that it was gonna make me stress too much, so we're just gonna try and write. However, a few setbacks, very early on for setbacks, I know, but setbacks nonetheless. For a start, this fruit chew I have is the last one in the house, and I like always write with fruit chew, so I don't know how I'm gonna do it without fruit chew, so it sounds stupid, but like, I don't know, so I'm just gonna have to sip on it, I think. And also my parents have decided they want to paint one of the walls in my room today, of all days. Specifically, that wall there, this big white wall. So that's the wall behind my computer, which is where I write right now. So I'm gonna have to leave the room, which means I won't be able to write when they're in here painting, and to be fair, they could literally decide to do it any given time, so we're playing it all entirely by ear, unfortunately. I wanted just to spend this day getting as much done as I can, but they want to paint, so. But other than that, I think I'm almost ready to go. I say ready to go, I'm not ready to go. I'm prepared, like, technically, like at my notepad. This here is the notepad that has all of my planning in. So technically, as you can see, there's like a lot going on in here. So technically I'm prepared. Mentally, not so much. That being said, I don't really have time to sit around, so we've got to get on with it, which means I need this. This is, though you can see the words, the plot of the first half. It's split into two parts. I call it the first half, but it's not really the first half. Part one's kind of like the first 2/3, and then the like part two is like the last third. But the reason I do that is just because it's easier for me to keep a track of like the plot. This is as much like plot planning as I do. So like, I don't know if you can see very well, there we go. Each of these is like a main plot point, and the key on this side is like blue for minor plots, purple for major plots, and green is subplots. So the blue's just kind of like stuff in between. Purple's like the big things, and then green's like, you know, relationships and like other subplots running along, that kind of thing. And then the other side is the two perspectives. So the points highlighted in orange are from the perspective of Alice, and the ones highlighted in yellow are from the perspective of her brother Beau, although he doesn't really get a perspective until like there, and then he has some more on the back. So it's mainly Alice. I am stressed. It's gonna take some time. I'm stressing, especially now that I know that I might be kicked out of my room at any given point of the day, which might not work out well depending on whereabouts in the story I am when they kick me out. Also, the TV is on next door. My sister's bedroom is just on the other side of the wall, and her TV is like on the wall where my computer is on the other side. So I can like hear everything playing on their TV at all hours of the day, which doesn't help too much when I'm writing. The last time I tried to write, I was writing this like really like sad, depressing scene, and this character was like spilling his heart out about all of these horrible things he'd been through, and my sister had Old Town Road on repeat next door the entire time I was writing that scene. So I do have headphones though to deal with that, because obviously I can't ask her to turn it down, so if need be I have headphones I can wear. So if at any point you see me wearing headphones or also sunglasses, because sometimes it gets too bright, just ignore it. As far as my actual plans go, we'll talk about that quickly now. As far as the story goes, I want the first 50,000 words, obviously, of the first draft done. This is the first time I'm putting it on paper at all. I would like to aim and get the first half, or like part one, done. I don't think I will, just because I'm expecting it to come to anywhere really between like 75 and probably like 80,000 words. But that's kind of like, it would be a point on top of it, like this is the goal, but if I could do that, that would be great. Really, I don't want it to be any shorter than 75,000 words. If I do get it done and only get 50,000 words done, then that's probably not a good thing. The actual story doesn't have a name yet. I'm just going to be referring to it as Spooky Project throughout the entire month, basically, because I don't have a name for it. But the story is about ghost hunters, and it's set in York in the northeast of England. It gets quite complicated. I don't have time to go into all of it, but like I mentioned earlier, I did do a video on it, and that will be below if you want to like hear more about like the plot and things of what it is I'm writing this month. And other than that, I think it's time to try and write. I haven't written anything in 2 months, and I don't know how I feel about opening up a blank document. I'm a bit scared. But yeah, here we go, I guess. That is easily the worst bit of it. Page 1 of 1, 0 words. Oh dear. So it is 12 o'clock, my first 574 words are done. That is the opening scene, that's why I've like briefly took a pause there. And I'm happy with it. It's definitely like needs editing, and I need to remember that I don't need to go back and edit now. As I'm writing, I'm always like, that needs to be better, that needs to be better, but that's for me to deal with later. All the little bits where I'm like, that can be improved on. This is just getting it on paper, getting it down, and then the editing comes after that. But yeah, I'm happy with what I have so far. My aim is to try and do like 1.6k words a day. I think when I worked it out, it comes to like 1.66667 thousand words or something a day. So if I aim for 1.6, then I can just make up for the last bits. So yeah, I'm going to continue. I've got like 1,000 words left to do today, which hopefully maybe take me like 2 hours. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was really concerned going into it that I wasn't going to be able to get started, because I can't start on a blank page, it does my head in. It's so difficult. But this is like going all right. It's going okay. I have words down. There was a lot of points where I just kind of froze and was like, what do I do now? But hopefully it's okay. I've only wrote 500 words and already my brain's like, oh, Becky, this isn't good. And I'm just like, I need to keep those thoughts at bay. Those are the thoughts that I knew I'd get. Maybe it's not this early, but I knew I'd get them. and so I just need to keep the negative thoughts away and focus on writing and remember that this is a first draft, and so it doesn't matter if it's terrible because that's why we edit. I mean, I'm still gonna panic about it anyway. But yeah, I am happy with what I have. I think I need to stop thinking about it. Right, yeah, onwards and upwards, I guess. Okay, so it is 3 o'clock. I wrote 3,391 words, which I don't think is too bad for the first day. I was going to try and hit 4,000 and write up until like tea time for like another 2 hours, but I've decided just to call it a day here because I hit a point where like my mind just won't focus and my brain's just like everywhere but on what I'm supposed to be doing. And when I hit that point and I find myself like zoning out for like 20 minutes at a time and then like writing a sentence and zoning out again, I know it's time to stop. So yeah, I'm happy with what I've got done. I've got really like the first kind of chapter done. In fact, I might call that the end of that chapter, maybe. I don't know, but I've definitely got at least the first like chapter of like the plot done. Everything's kind of moving forward quite quickly. I'm into the bit that I was like most stressed about, which is this kind of 2-week time gap where it's like I needed 2 weeks because otherwise the plot would have only took place in a week, and so for one of the relationships to develop the way it does, it really needs to have more than a week to it. There's no like, it's not like insta love, there's no like falling in love or anything, but like I just wanted it to have a bit more time, so I added on this like extra 2 weeks in between the main characters getting to this house they're staying in with this family and them actually finding out what this family do. There's like a 2-week period there that I have to kind of go over quite quickly, which it is quite early in the book to have like a time gap, so I'm trying to kind of spread it out a bit. The idea is to cover probably like the first day, then glance over everything that was happening for like 2 weeks, and then cover the last day, because there's no point in covering it all because it's just kind of like boring in betweeny stuff that unfortunately is like kind of necessary. But I've done the opening scene and I've covered the whole beginning bit where like, you know, the main characters show up at this house and they're like, oh, we're homeless, and then the other people are like, hey, you can stay here. Like all of that has been covered now. I just finished up all of that. The next scene, which I might end up writing later tonight, I don't know, but if I do, you'll see it. If I don't, it'll be tomorrow. The next scene is the introduction of the main character's love interest. So far, there has been 4 characters introduced, 3 of the main characters. We've got the main character, Alice, her twin brother, Beau, who are like in it basically all the time, and Adrian is the other main character who's just been introduced. He's quite fun. He's the one character who I don't really have like a personality for. Like, I kind of have an idea. I want him to be like the gentle giant character, but I couldn't like find a personality for him. So what I'm doing with him is what I've done with characters in the past, where I just start writing them and I just let them tell me who they are, which like sounds weird, but it works somehow. So he's very adorable. He's coming out so adorable at the moment. So he's been introduced, and also his mother, Lenora, who isn't like a main character, she's more like a side character. So the only main characters left to introduce are Adrian's sister, Kira, who won't be in the next scene, she'll be in the one after that, and Alice's love interest, Rhubarb, who is in the next scene, which I'm very excited about. I'm so excited. I think I haven't even started writing it, but I kind of feel like Rhubarb's my favourite, even though I'm not supposed to have favourites. Like, I love them all, but I have a very special place in my heart for Rhubarb. So yeah, I think I'm gonna stop there for now at 3,391 words. I'm not like stopping writing stuff for the day, like I'm stopping writing but not like related stuff. I want to start a Twitter thread for like NaNoWriMo and all of my stuff, which means I have to like do some things and stuff and whatnot. My Twitter is linked, I think, on like the main page of my channel. If you want to go find that thread, I might like pin it to the top for the November or something. And I also need to do the same for Tumblr, which I'm not sharing my Tumblr. Other than that, I think that's it for now. I can feel myself starting with like how I know I get when I'm writing. Like once I start a story, which is why I don't rush into writing my books, because once I start it, that's it. That takes over my entire life. Like, if I'm doing anything, it stops. Like, I was doing my GCSEs while writing my second book, I think. And, like, I just didn't revise for my GCSEs. I was showing up to revision sessions for my GCSE exams and writing my book in the revision sessions instead. So, like, I tend to just try and avoid writing at times like that. I do have my A-levels in June, so the plan is to have the first draft of this done before, like, April, possibly a bit earlier, and then I'm not thinking about it and I can like focus on my actual exams. But yeah, we'll see how everything goes. This is it now. This is gonna be like my life for November. If I write anything more today, I will let you know. I think how this is gonna work is the days when I'm just sat doing boring stuff, like you'll only see me writing. But if I'm doing anything like a bit interesting, like I'm going to York at some point this month with my mum, and that'll be like a bit of character study and like setting work, so like I'll take you along on that kind of thing. But if I'm not doing anything interesting, you'll just see me writing and babbling on like I am now. So yeah, if I decide to write that scene later tonight, you'll know about it. If not, then I'll see you in the morning. It's still November 1st, by the way, but I realised earlier that we didn't update my word count on the Nano site. I announced the thing on it a while ago. Can I turn you around? Yep, there we go. So I announced it on there a while ago, but now I need to actually do the bit where I like update it and stuff. So how do I do that? Okay, so I managed to get the thing working. So now I think, do I just type in how many? There we go, 3,391. Is that how I do it? And then yeah. Yay! Look at that. Hello, good morning, and I say that because it is actually morning for once. It is Saturday. It says on my laptop. It's Saturday, the 2nd of November. I'm about to start writing again. I got up like, not early, but like fairly early. I was up at like 9:30, 10ish this morning to watch like the second half of the Rugby World Cup. Kind of a waste of time. It was a boring match and then we lost, so you know. So the plan is to try and get some more writing done. I don't know how many words I'm going to get done. I'm not really in the mood for it today, to be honest. I have like very little motivation at the moment, and I think it's just because like I'm not connected to it yet. Like I am, but not on the level that I was with my other work, because that was like, you know, 3 stories with the same characters, so I was like really invested in the characters, and because these are new characters, I'm not at that point yet. Another issue I found I had yesterday was that I keep writing in first person. The book is in third person, like third person past tense, but usually when I write books I write in first person past tense, and then I write short stories in third person. But I'm going into third person because I prefer writing in third person. But I think it's just because usually in this scenario, when I'm sat writing big documents on Word, like at my desk, I'm usually writing in first person. So I keep halfway through a paragraph just slipping into first person and then having to go back and edit it into third, which is just a nightmare. So that's something I want to deal with today. We left at 3,391 words. The reason I'm saying that is because I need to have that number documented so I can work out how many I've written later. However, I am kind of like saying like I've got a sign now, like I feel a bit better about my writing. Like basically, long story short, Shadow and Bone, the Leigh Bardugo series, and Six of Crows are both being made into a TV show by Netflix called Shadow and Bone, and Jessie, who's playing Alina, her dad's really active on Twitter with the fans, and there was something going down about like Darkling and Mal again, as usual. In my personal opinion, I think they're both trash, but you know, something about that, and I'd like retweeted him saying like, oh, like she should have just like got a cat kind of thing. And then like a conversation ensued about like a sitcom about her and a stag. And then like just as I sat down to open up my thing, I just got another message that just like from her dad that just said like, oh, you're going to have a great career as a writer. And even though it was entirely to do with that and nothing to do with the fact that I actually write, I was like, that's a message, that's it. I don't believe in any higher god, but if I was to, that would be his message. So I feel a little better going into it now. I'm like, I'm doing it for Jessie's dad. So yeah, the scene that I need to write now, it might end up being the only scene I write because technically I don't have to write today to keep up, but I want to write every day if I can, like I'm kind of forcing myself to. The scene I'm definitely going to write today is the next one, which is when the main character finally meets her love interest, which is going to be an interesting one. I'm excited because I really like the love interest. I'm excited to like bring him into it. But also like they get off on really bad foot with each other. Like it doesn't go down well between them at first, just because there's not like miscommunication, I suppose, because they don't know each other, they're complete strangers, but like because they don't know each other, that's what causes the problem. So I have to make sure that he comes across in a bad light, basically. And I'm quite excited to write it. I'm looking forward to like finally, because this is the first time he's been in the book, like it's the first time writing him. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Alright, so I've finished that scene that I wanted to write. I've got the love interest has finally been introduced. He's in it. I quite like their opening, like a scene between him and the main character. He kind of comes across in a very grumpy light, like I wanted him to, which is great. And also I've managed to not only like foreshadow a few things in the future, but set up for future plot points, which is obviously great. The issue I'm having with this specific bit is I have this like 2 week time gap, like I mentioned yesterday. I have to go over that very quickly. I'm only really showing like 3 days of it, but at the same time I also have to get across this suspicion that the main character has about the family within that. So trying to make sure that I cover that gap quick enough that it doesn't become boring but still get the point across is fairly difficult, but I think I've built up to it quite well. So I wrote 1,689 words, which is like the amount really that I'm trying to write every day. I'm sort of aiming for like anywhere between 1.6 and 1.7k a day. So that's took me now, I'm on 5,080 words, which bearing in mind it's only the second day, I don't think that's too bad. I might write a bit more later. I don't know, I'm struggling with it still. My head's like not in it yet. I'm like not getting into it, you know, like sometimes when I write for 5 hours and I don't even realise more than an hour's passed because I'm just so involved in it and I'm so like excited to continue with it. But at the moment I don't really have that, but I think it's just because it's a new project and new characters, and I just like I'm not in it yet. I don't know it yet as well as I should. I'm excited to write it obviously, but I'm not like as invested in it yet. But hopefully if I can keep up this like writing everyday thing, then over time I will kind of reach that point where I'm like, oh, big things. And especially when I get over this 2 week time gap, this is the bit that I've been like dreading having to write. It's all just very early days. Like the main character hasn't even met all of the other characters yet. There's still so much to cover, which I think is the issue with the first book. There's so much you have to like tell the reader, but without info dumping it. There's so much you have to get across, and all these people that have to be introduced, and like the whole story has to be set up and everything. So it is taking some time for me to get into it properly, and I do worry it's slow, even though I'm only 5,000 words in. So like, you know, it's not as if I'm like 10,000 words in and it's still super slow, which it might be. So yeah, if I decide to write anything else later, I will obviously pick up the camera and inform you. If not, then yeah. Yay! Oh, look at that tiny graph. I'm like still above, so this is cool. This is cool. I'm happy with that so far. Hello. It is actually still Saturday. I forgot what day it was for the second time today. I'm actually writing more. That's right. I'm writing more in the same day. I know. I've just started chapter 2. In fact, there you go. Chapter 2, we've got 5,081 words. And I've decided in the hour I have until X Factor's on that I'm going to try and get some more done. The headphones are going on because, for a start, TV's on downstairs, and secondly, there's a lot of fireworks at the moment because bonfire night is soon. So like the week before Halloween until the week after bonfire night, there's just so many fireworks. I don't mind it. Like when I'm right next to them, I tend to wear headphones, but the only reason I'm wearing them now is because I need like a deadly silence when I'm writing, otherwise I'd be watching them out the window. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get the first scene in chapter 2 done. This is like the last scene where we're introducing new characters, like main characters. There's one new main character to be introduced. She comes in on this scene. This is a scene like at breakfast. They're all sat around a breakfast table. So it's actually the first time where all of the main characters are in like the same scene. Like the full main cast is in this one bit. So yeah, I just want to try and get that done. Again, this isn't, my plot isn't actually on there. It's just in the 2 week period. That's literally just the point on there. This is like one of the vaguer plot points. So I need to remember what I have to include in it, which is usually the problem. I then end up with notes everywhere, like make sure to add this in the second draft. So yeah, well, it's the first draft, we'll just see. So much grey. So much rain. Hi. I'm picking up the camera because I'm bored. My concentration isn't where it should be at all at the moment. I did expect this around this point. I'm at 6,857 words. So I wrote like 500 words ish. And yeah, I did expect this around this point. I'm at that weird bit in my plot that I was talking about where there's like a 2-week time gap. And I knew when I was writing it, I knew I was going to hate writing this bit. And I was correct. I do hate it. The issue I'm having is the same sort of thing I talked about either yesterday or the day before, about like my concentration levels and about how like if I'm not in it, my head will just literally focus on anything but what I'm trying to write. And I've literally done about 500 words. It's took me 2 hours, and it's just because roughly every sentence, in fact not every sentence, I literally typed 2 words then and then just zoned out for 20 minutes. Like, it's reached that point, but I need to continue because I need to get more done today. I really need to just get over this point. I think this 2-week thing, because once I'm over that, everything should hopefully become easier. Hopefully. It's just so difficult. I've got like a day of it left to go, and I have to write out the whole day, and just thinking about it, I'm like, I keep thinking, why don't you just leave it and come back and write that scene later, which I never do, but I should really just keep going with it, even if I really don't want to. I just want to get on with the good stuff. That's my other worry, that because of this, it's gonna like make it drag on and make the beginning slow, because I'm like, I'm like on page 10, I'm nearly 7,000 words in. By the end of this scene, it'll probably be, I'd expect no longer than 9,000 words by the time I get over this. And I'm like, 9,000 words is a lot of time just to be doing nothing, like, because it kind of just feels like nothing's happening, but there is necessary stuff taking place, and it is necessary that I have this gap. So I think I'm just gonna have to keep going on with it. I really don't want to. I've reached that point where I can feel myself getting angry because I don't want to do it, which is never good. This is usually when I start spiraling and I just get frustrated with it far too easily. But I think I just gotta keep going. And also, I should probably point out, I know this is the 3rd day in a row I've been wearing the same top. I don't have an excuse for that or a way to justify me wearing the same top 3 days in a row. I just don't. But I go back to college tomorrow, so I will be like, wearing other clothes from tomorrow onwards. But yeah, I'm literally picking up the camera to procrastinate because I really don't want to continue, and my head's not in it. Like, my head's literally anywhere but on the writing at the moment. But yeah, I guess I gotta keep going because I need to get really at least like 1,000 done today, so.
Good idea, guys. Save up your excitement when you're actually wearing them.
I finally finished my writing for the day, so I did a bit more than I said I was going to do. I decided just to like try and get all of that boring bit I was talking about done. I know I shouldn't really have anything boring in my book, like it should be a case of if it's boring, get rid of it, but this is the first draft, so it's allowed to be boring. It ended up coming to 3,775 words, which I think is alright. I was trying to work out with like other books like I've written that I have like on paper compared to the length that they were on the document, like what roughly that would come to in page count, because like I know this bit's going to be slightly boring anyway, but it's all necessary setup, and so I wanted to make sure it wasn't too long. But looking at it, I think it'll be like 10 like pages, in fact possibly less, like not much. So it should all be absolutely fine. But overall now I am on 10,093 words, which I am so happy with. We're on the 3rd day and I'm at 10,000 words. That's alright. I kind of knew I could do that because when I was writing during school, I used to like not write anything, and then on my 3-day weekend I'd write 10,000 words. So I knew I could do that in 3 days, but I'm still quite happy. But that's that boring bit done now. The next bit is actually the big plot point. The next bit is when the main character gets possessed, and that kind of sparks the rest of the plot. That's what gets the ball rolling for the rest of the plot line, because the main part of the plot line is them trying to find this artifact that will free her from the demon that is about to possess her. It also means the story is about to do a major 180, because so far it's just been very like this girl and her brother living in this house, like, oh my god, we need somewhere to stay. Like, it's all been kind of tame, and then it's gonna suddenly pull like a massive change of pace when all of the horror imagery kicks in, which comes with like her hallucinating things due to this demon. So it's gonna get like creepy quick, and I'm quite excited. So yeah, I won't say too much because this vlog is already getting so long and it's only Sunday and this ends on Friday, so I just don't want to be talking too much, otherwise it'll be very, very long. But yeah, 10,000 words, 3,775 words today. I'm very happy. Quick question. Why is the Nano site saying that I need that many words today when before I've even actually put in the amount I've done today, I'm on 6,338 and today's goal is 5,001. I don't need any words today. I've written words today, but I didn't need to. So why is it saying, is that just like on average what you're supposed to be doing on a day, or? That's better. Look at that. Yay! I need to write. Hi. It is Monday. It is just gone 12. I've been at college since 9. And I haven't written anything yet, obviously, because I've been at college. Not gonna lie, don't really want to. Even though I'm over the boring bit now, I'm not in it yet. But I'm gonna write because that's how this works. I've had dinner. Yeah. Hi. I should be writing, but I'm procrastinating again. I don't know why I can't get into it. Like, I'm over the boring bit now. I'm literally in the middle of a very tense scene. Like, I'm in the middle of it. The main character is currently running for her life, and I've just stopped mid-sentence and gone on Twitter for like 10 minutes. Like, I'm that out of it. This is a scene that I should be like, oh my god, yeah, and writing it really quick in one go and getting it all done, writing like 5,000 words an hour and this big scene, and I'm just like, meh. Meh about it. I do remember getting like this a bit with some of my other books. It's just frustrating that it's so early on. I do think it's partly because I know I have to write every day, and when I know I have to do something, I don't want to do it. But I'm just so frustrated, I think, over it. Just like the whole, just the fact that I can't seem to find any excitement for it. I have zero motivation to write whatsoever. Like, this is the last thing I want to be doing. The same issue as I had yesterday. Like, for whatever reason, I'm sat here writing this really big, dramatic, tense scene. Like I said, the main character's running for her life. All of these amazing things have just kicked in. It's like the big turn in the plot. And I just don't care. I just really do not care. I'm going to write more. I've technically hit my word count for the day that I needed to get done. I'm on 11,472 words now. But I'm in the middle of a scene, and it's a very long scene, so it's probably going to be another, 3,000 words. I really, really don't want to continue, but I can't really stop mid-scene. I'm considering just stopping there and picking up the rest of it later because, like I said, I don't care. I can't be asked, to be quite frank. Yeah. Woo!
They're now appealing it. His tackle on Andre Gomez led to horrific. Gomez had surgery yesterday in his hometown.
Hello. It is Wednesday now, Wednesday the 6th of November. In case you couldn't tell, I did zero writing yesterday. I do have a reason. It was bonfire night, aka Guy Fawkes night. So I was at college 9 till 5, and then I was at the Metro with my parents, and then when we got back we were doing sparklers in the back garden for bonfire night, so I didn't actually get any chance to sit down and write. But it's okay because I knew I could take the day off because I was ahead anyway, and I kind of knew bonfire night I probably wasn't going to get around to it. But it is no longer bonfire night, and if I'm correct, I believe Brooke from By the Brook is doing one of those early morning write-ins that she does, which is great for me because I live in the UK, usually the people who do live write-ins are either from the US or Canada, so it's usually midnight my time, so I never get to take part. But because she does the early morning ones, it's the middle of the day for me, so I'm hoping to catch the end of it, hopefully. So that'll be exciting because I've never took part in one before. My aim is to just keep writing until that finishes really, and then I need to have dinner, and then I'll probably do some writing later. Another thing I will be doing today, though, that might get in the way of writing for the next few days is, I don't have it on me right now, but Called Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater came out yesterday, and I managed to get my hands on it, thankfully. It's literally not available anywhere in the UK for at least another week, but I ordered the special edition from Owlcrate, which thankfully came yesterday, so I have it. So reading that might get in the way slightly, but it shouldn't. Hopefully I can get loads of writing done today, so don't hold me to it, but you know. So in the end, there was actually a live stream for me to follow along with. I've done like 700 words, which is alright. I'm gonna do more, obviously. I'm not just gonna stop there. I have like yesterday to catch up on and everything. But I did actually manage to find a live stream. That was the first time I've ever taken part in like a write-in. I didn't think I'd be able to because like the sprinting things never seemed like something I could do. I tend to sit and write for like 2 hours straight up. And so the idea of like stopping and starting didn't seem like it would fit very well with how I write. But actually I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed being able to like speak to people in the comments and things, which was fun. I don't get to like interact with many of the writers very often. So yeah, I think I would like to stay up for a later one at some point because obviously, like I said, one of the issues I kind of have is that a lot of writings happen in like the middle of the night for me. But I do like to do some late night writing. I find my best writing happens at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I haven't had a chance to do any of that yet because of like college and, you know, I'm getting up early so that I don't want to stay up late. But over the weekend, I might see if there's any weekend ones coming on soon. I'm going to have to go through different people's channels and work out what's happening when. But hopefully I can get in on some late night ones as long as they're not like midweek late night ones. But we'll see, yeah. So I kind of have to continue writing by myself now, and I don't really want to because it's kind of extra motivation. Sometimes when I plan, I use like old live streams like left over on YouTube to like plan to, but I don't think that would work as well with my actual writing because I can't actually interact with it. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to try and pull myself through the last like 1,000 words. So obviously I'll update you when I get to there, although that will be it for today because I'm babysitting my sister like for the rest of the night. My parents are away in Newcastle, I think, tonight, so I have to like make her tea and make sure she has a packed lunch and things ready for tomorrow and everything. And then I think I'm going to use some of my free time to start reading Called on the Hawk. Yeah, but we'll try and get another 1,000 words done now, hopefully before she gets home. Alright, so I have to go make tea, so I'm calling it a day there. I finally managed to finish that scene. The one the other day that I was saying was going to be ridiculously long and take me ages to get through. Yeah, that one. I'm done it. It's over with. So yeah, I'm happy to like move on. I'm getting like excited about it now, which I'm really happy about. The bits that I wasn't looking forward to are over now. We're into like the good stuff. There's still a few things I need to kind of cover later on. For a start, like we're still at that point where her and her future love interest just don't get on at all, and I know that's something that I can't very quickly go over again because like they both have very valid reasons to not particularly like each other, so it's not something I can suddenly be like, oh well, I guess you're nice. Like I can't do that. So that's going to be like the main focus as we go on, to make sure I kind of slowly get them past that slightly hating each other phrase. So we're finishing on 14,181 words. I need to work out like how much I've actually written today so I can update the thread I'm doing on Twitter to like hold myself accountable to actually writing each day, even though I've already failed that. And then we'll update the Nano site, and then that's me done with the night. Alright, 14,181. Blink. Yay! What's the graph look like now? Yay! Yay! How does this one look? Oh, no. What day is it, Libby?
Thursday.
The...
7th
of...
November.
Thank you, Libby. Hello, and welcome to possibly the worst lighting I've filmed in yet. It is, as Libby said, Thursday the 7th of November, which means that tomorrow is the last day of this specific Nano vlog. I will then start the next week on Saturday, and that will run until Thursday, Friday, and then the next one I'll start on Saturday again. and so on and so forth. It is now 20 to 4. I haven't written anything yet because I was like filming and then editing and then uploading, and then I went into town to get my second copy of Call Down the Hawk because my Waterstones copy finally arrived. It's so pretty, by the way. And I read a few pages of that in between. I wanted to read more, but I have to write. I have to get some writing done. I have to keep on top of it. I was going to leave this till later because I can't write on a night. The issue is with writing... Oh, why are we doing something with... I don't know what that ripply thing was, but we'll wait. Yeah, I can usually write on a night, but the issue with writing on a night is that I can only write like the big dramatic scenes on a night that I can edit down the next day. The sort of complicated technical scenes where I'm trying to achieve something other than aesthetic, I have to like write during the day. And the next scene is what I call a convincing scene, which are my worst scenes. I hate writing these kind of scenes. Basically, the main character has to be convinced to believe something, because I need her to believe something that currently, logically, she does not currently believe. And the issue with that is that I know she needs to believe this thing, but I can't just write it in the book like, she's like, you killed someone, you're bad. And then the other character's like, actually, I'm nice. And then she's just like, oh, I guess so. Like, it's not realistic. It has to be written realistically, but also quick enough that it doesn't become boring. And I just don't enjoy these scenes. They're a nightmare, to be honest. I kind of just want to get to the point where we can move on, and it always feels like the convincing bit is like a bit in between, and it's kind of like annoying. So that's what I have to do now. I have to write the convincing scene, which means I can't write it tonight because I need to be technical about it. So I suppose I can just read later, hopefully. We left off at... Sorry about the horrific view of my face you're getting. We left off at 14,181 words. So we're not doing too bad currently in my paper thing, because I haven't been updating too much because the longer I talk, the longer this vlog is, and I'm expecting it to be currently about 50 minutes, which is slightly horrendous. But to refer back to this from earlier this week, it's maybe backwards to you, I don't know. We're currently here. This is where we are. That point right there that says like Kira convinces Alice, that they have to stay with them, which is the bit that I'm up to right now. And I remember writing that being like, you're so going to enjoy the convincing scenes. And yeah, I do kind of hate past me for including that. But there's no other way that we could have got to it. Like, she was going to have to be convinced of something. I have to convince Lacey to actually like the love interest. This isn't the only time I got to do it. So yeah, we're currently like halfway. That's about halfway down the page. The first page, there is more on the back as well, and this is only the first part. I'm expecting the second part to be probably like an A4 page, possibly a bit less actually. So that's where we are. It's going good. I said at the beginning of the week that I'd like to try and get part 1 finished by the end of November, which honestly might happen, although if it does, I don't know if I'm happy about that, because like, I want it to be more than 50,000 words. I mean, this is the first draft. When I edit it, it will likely be more than 50,000 words, and at the moment I don't know if this is going to be 50,000. Like, I can't really be like, oh, if I finish Nano, then I'm obviously going to finish this, because I might end up finishing Nano and writing more and finishing this all in 1 month. Like, I don't know yet. I'm still ahead of the game, so yeah, I'm going to get on with that now, because I've been talking for 5 minutes. Whoops. The ripple's back, and yeah. Alright, so I've finally finished writing for the day. It looks a lot later than it is. I think it's just mainly because I'm very tired. It's only 7, but I got about 4 hours sleep last night, so I'm a bit dead. I'm now on 16,425 words. I'm yet to work out exactly what that is, but you'll see it in a minute when I update my Nano count. But I wrote a lot more than I expected to, so I'm happy with that. I got like the big reveal bit over. The convincing isn't technically done yet, although it's a lot closer to being done the next sort of day in the book. But like, chapter really in the story should kind of wrap that up and get the main character swayed completely. She's kind of halfway there now. Still haven't worked out how I'm going to convince her that the love interest is a good guy. He is a good guy. That's something I have to point out. He is a good guy. They just got off on a really bad first foot, and now I'm not too sure how to make them get along, but I'll work it out. So yeah, everything's going good. I'm happy with what I've done today. Yeah. having a bit of a change of scenery, not for any reason other than my dad is currently building a bookshelf in my bedroom, which I'm very excited about, but that's a different story. So I'm writing at the kitchen table because there's nobody else in the house, but that won't last long, so I don't know how much of this I'll actually get done. If I can hit 15,000, I'm just short of 16,500, so if I can hit 17,000 even, then I'll be happy with that, I think, whilst keeping an eye on the dogs. This is the last day of this vlog, of course, and then I'll be starting week 2 tomorrow on Saturday. So yeah, we're like kind of at the end of the week now. I'm just gonna see what I can get done. I know I don't have my sheet with me, it's literally just me, the laptop and the table, but I know the scene I have to write. The issue with this scene is not only do I still have that whole convincing thing that was going on to continue with and make sure it's realistic, but also there's a character in this next scene who will be important later in the series who doesn't have a name yet. So it's not even like a side character who I can just make up a crap name, like they will be a big character, and I kind of want to write a prequel series, and if I was to do that, the main character would be this character, so I need them to have a name. I left it too late. I have some ideas. I don't know. I just named her husband like the other day because he will also be an important character. He has a name now. She doesn't have a name. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. To be honest, I haven't finished planning. I've finished the plot, obviously, but like there's little bits and bobs like this name that still need to be done that I plan on doing later. So yeah. Okay, so I think we're gonna call it a day on this particular vlog. There will be another 3 of this truly exciting content. So much is happening. Hopefully next week's will be a bit more exciting because obviously I'm only showing you me writing at the moment unless I'm doing something that's like in some way writing related and worth putting in the vlog kind of thing. But I have my bookcase set up now, so I'll be sorting that out in the next vlog. And I'm going to York at some point. I just don't know when. At some point. But yeah, I'm not going to do too much of a wrap up for this because I don't really know what there is to say. It's been an alright first week. I hit 18,700 words, so like I'm nearly at 19,000, which is great. I would have liked to hit 20,000, but I was like just getting far too tired writing, so I like gave up. But yeah, I'd say that's a fairly successful first week, nearly 19,000 words. I'm hoping I can keep that up, because if I can keep that up, then not only can I hit Nano's goal, but I also might be able to finish the first half of my story, which would be like an extra thing. But yeah, as far as it's like actually going content wise, I don't know whether like it's definitely not the best thing I've written. However, it's a first draft. I don't expect it to be the best thing I've written. I'm like looking at it as I'm writing it thinking there is so much that I'm going to have to edit here and like sort out. Obviously that'll come later. That's like that's a future me problem. But yeah, I'm just kind of focusing on getting the plot on paper rather than making it like poetic and pretty. Just getting it down, getting it all down, and then it's down, and then I can like make it fancy later on. So yeah, everything's going all right so far. I used this first week to get all the boring stuff out of the way that I wasn't looking forward to, so hopefully we'll be smooth sailing from now on. I say that you watch the beginning of the next vlog, I'll have a breakdown. There's gonna be at least one per video. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please do tell me how your Nano's going if you're taking part in the comments. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the very end of this likely very long video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!